Can I tell you? I did not make this coffee right. I pressed the wrong button. It's not horrible, but it's not right. It's Hello, everyone. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for being here, for clicking on the video, showing up, stopping by, swinging on through. Thanks for being here. Tonight, we are diving into a little bit more from Mark Eitzel. We're listening to this album, The Invisible Man. Solo album from Mr. Eitzel, released in 2001. We've listened to 2 albums from Mr. Eitzel, and now we're returning with this one. We're listening to this because this was suggested and sponsored by Andreas. Andreas, thank you so much for the over-the-top support. Truly appreciate that. Thank you so much for the request as well. Curious how this album stacks up to the previous 2 that we listened to. Because Songs of Love Live, we had that one. And then 60 Watt, which was really cool kind of development past that. This one, several years later. I'm pulling up his discography really quick because I'm curious as to where in his discography this album lands. So let's see. Solo album, Songs of Love, 91. 60 Watt, 96. And then this album, 2001. So a pretty decent amount of years there between. 5 years from where we last left off with him. And I'm curious to see how this album stacks up in comparison and to the rest of it. Like I said, can I tell you, ever since Liam was born, like I've gotten used to doing things in the dark because it's like trying to keep him asleep or trying to put him to sleep, and this was the case tonight. And so I thought I memorized which buttons to press on the coffee machine, and I did not. I think I ended up not only pressing the iced coffee button, and I'm not drinking iced coffee, but it made a lot less, probably because you're supposed to fill it with ice. So I was expecting a full cup of coffee, and I only got a little less than half. But we'll deal with it. We'll deal with it as usual. Anyways, I hope that you guys are doing well. Hope you're feeling good, in a good mood, ready to relax, enjoy a little bit, sit down with an album, and we can go from there. So let us start to go. Starting off with the first track here, interesting title, The Boy with the Hammer in the Paper Bag. I guess that's one way to carry around your hammer. I mean, usually a toolbox, but you know, if you don't have it, that's okay. Carry it on a paper bag. Even though I feel like the hammer, it wouldn't take a lot of bounce for that hammer to go on through. Hopefully it's not a wet paper bag. Anyways, this sip of half-brewed, iced but not iced setting coffee is to you. Is my volume up? That's normal.
When the boy with the hammer in the paper bag stands up to cheer, then you stand up to cheer. That boy really knows how to accessorize. It's the best look that we've seen all year.
Some drums happening back there.
And he raises his hammer at the magic dagger, gets all mad. Says I should be in Vegas. Says you don't need to know how to breathe fire to see a hunger for pain. That's
And
then the Mill Valley man tap dances to Midnight Cowboy, and suddenly there's sirens outside. But it's always someone's family home burning down next door. Don't worry, people, no need to hide. And then the colonel starts playing tambourine. It was so funny, we were of the pain of the family next door, too fucked up to feel anything. And if that's what you want,
okay. interesting
Well, it's
elements.
nothing. The boy with the hammer in the paper bag is feeling lonely.
I like those
Gee, I
electronics.
wonder why. He says, bring me the head of Alfredo Garcia, staring at the stripper, reflecting only sky. But he was really harmless, he only used the hammer to smash the windows of the parked cars on his way home. That looked back at him in accusation and said, no one's gonna catch you when you fall all alone.
Big one. What a cool sound compared to the other two albums.
If that's what you want, if that's what you want, well, it's nothing. Well, it's You're not nothing. You're not nothing.
Nice bass.
You're not nothing. So blue, I'm really gonna miss you. Blue, I'm really gonna miss you.
It's a cool sound. Okay, so big surprise in just the sound of this, the genre kind of change here as compared to the other two albums that we listened to. This one has a much more full sound and a little bit more of an electronic kind of or rhythm drive happening in here, which is really fantastic. Even though you do have an actual drummer and percussion here from Jim Bogios, but I think that he's credited with percussion here, and I think that the drums are perhaps programmed. But it's so cool, this like kind of dense urban cityscape kind of atmosphere. To me, like listening to this sound, it has this rain-soaked and torrential rain, downtrodden but kind of upbeat, walking through the rain through the city kind of atmosphere to it. And I like the way that Mark just kind of, what's the word, just kind of like, not stoically, but just kind of walks us through this particular city. He's just wandering, and his voice is allowed to wander alongside with it. I love the chorus and the punchiness of it. That's what you want. And then the music is just allowed to bloom around after that. There's a little bit of a jazziness in some of those chords. There's a nice down-tempo kind of sound to this, which I think is really, really cool. And how it's all pulled off. The piano by Mark Capel is who starts us off. And then I like how in the beginning of the track you get those little hints of the drums. They kind of pop in very washed in the back, then they go away. They pop in, then they wash again away in the back. And bass by Arian Salazar, and then guitar by Joe Gore. And the track, to me, has a very dense feel to it. There's always something happening in there. Even the minute details to the warm bass line that is kind of like when you're trying to get out of the rain, you're searching for that shelter. That's what the bass line is to me. And it's really unique and interesting how packed it is, but without making it sounding crowded at all. This is kind of interesting. I'm kind of curious as to the rest of the album, where it goes, because this was a change as opposed to the other albums and the other sounds that we've heard from Eitzel, but a really good change, and it suits his voice really well, and it suits the direction that he's taken here. I'm very curious about the rest of it. When the boy with the hammer and the paper bag stands up to choose, and you stand up to choose, that boy really knows how to accessorize. It's the best look we've seen all year. He raises his hammer at the magic act, who gets all mad, says I should be in Vegas. Says, you don't need to know how to breathe fire to see a hunger for a pain that's endless. It's a good line. You don't need to put on an act to see that hunger. And then the Mill Valley man starts tap dancing to Midnight Cowboy, and suddenly there's sirens outside. But it's only someone's family home burning down next door. Don't worry, people. No need to hide. And the Colonel starts playing tambourine. It was so funny we were rolling. We were laughing in the face of the pain of the family next door. Too messed up to feel anything. So obviously they're laughing at another a tragedy that's happening next door, and someone else's destruction, so to speak. And if that's what you want, well, it's nothing. The boy with the hammer and the paper bag is feeling lonely. Gee, I wonder why. He says, bring me the head of Alfredo Garcia, staring at the stripper reflecting only sky. But he was really harmless. He only used the hammer to smash the windows of the parked cars and on his way home. That's harmless, I suppose, in its own way, but not. That looked back at him in accusation and said, no one's going to catch you when you fall all alone. Like, no one to be there for you. And if that's what you want, it's nothing. You're not nothing. So boo-hoo, I'm really going to miss you. I'm really going to miss you. Like, it's almost like he's talking about, this is how I read it. Perhaps I'm reading a little bit too literally. It's almost like he's talking about someone he knows, either a childhood friend or just an associate, and maybe they didn't do, they weren't the best of persons. They had perhaps some bad influences, and perhaps they were a bad influence. And despite all that, they had some laughs in their youth and in the trouble they got into. But in the end, maybe they haven't changed. They haven't matured. They haven't grown out of that. And maybe something's happened where there's a disconnect in the relationship, and he says, I'm going to miss you. It was good times, but it's time for me to move on with my life, and our paths, it's time for them to diverge. We were not really on the same path. That's at least how I read that. The boy with the hammer and the paper bag, saying he was harmless, but you're going this way and my life is going this particular way. Can you see? It's the next track. That's a very 60s kind of sound. Kind of melodramatic.
Can you see, can you see, can you see, can you see what the world is? It pulls you on, it tricks you that it's always a spring morning. And you even say, well, another man's hell could be my heaven. And you say, if this is being blind and wrong, give me more and more. And you say, let me light up the hand and let me pull the truth through. But if the truth don't make you happy, what will you do?
It's a good line.
The truth is that I'm happy when I'm with you. Can you see, can you see, can you see, can you see what the truth is?
I really like how the drums came in there.
It's a place where you can hide from the moldy old skeleton costume. And so you're flying like a moth at the streetlight, but it's too late. You're bumping wings with far too many others, wearing your outfit that you chose from your endless supply of reflections and self-disgust. And you don't have any belief in what's worth your love and trust.
drum pattern is so active in the
with
music.
a vain understanding that some of the light would stick, and invest your moth-like face with wisdom from another world. But instead, all that shows are wrinkles and a tick around your compound eyes,
Clarinet.
filled with a fond mystery of ecstasy and alibis. Can you see, can you see, can you see, can you see what the world is? It pulls you on, it tricks you, there's always some new spring morning. But I know that all you want is to leave behind the color blue. And if the truth won't make you happy, what will you do? If the truth won't make you happy, what will you do? The truth is that I'm happy when I'm with you. The truth is that I'm happy when I'm with you.
A short, open, and honest revealing of himself, as he mentions in the songs. The truth is, I'm happy when I'm with you. And I like how this song softened things up from the first track, and it continues things a little bit in that kind of electronic-esque kind of sound. I love the drumming in here. You're going to have the same percussionist here, but you do have drum programming, which is programmed from Mike Creswell. And I think that snare, almost marching-esque kind of beat with the bass drum on the accents is really, really nice and really strong. But at the heart of that is the guitar. You know, amongst the drums and, of course, the bass, you have a little clarinet played in here as well. And amongst all that, you never lose sight that the guitar and the gentle motions of the picking up and down, playing these beautiful melodies, that is the lifeblood and the heart that continually beats out, while the rest of it is just flesh and bone. And I like how the guitar is never lost as that soul. I like how Mark, his voice is that grounding in the music as well, as he sings very calmly and very stated, and kind of to himself, but also, of course, acknowledging someone else, the subject and the person that he's delivering his message to and his words to. So all this just comes around into a very nice body of work that feels really, really good. But the drums, I love the way that they come in and the way that they start. Let me pull it back up here really quick.
And you say,
almost a 60s kind of sound also, by the way, here. Almost sound like Mellotron for a second, but I think that's just horns.
but if the truth don't make you happy,
wait for the snares to come in.
The truth is that I'm happy.
Okay, hit the
when
ride.
I'm with you.
Start off with a little marching, but wait till
Can
those
you see,
basses.
can you see, can you see, can you see what the truth is?
That's just a really great way to start off that drum pattern. And I don't know what made me think of this, but I know who Mark Eitzel would sound really good with, and I can see them collaborating. Imogen Heap. I don't know why she came up on my mind, but I could definitely hear them both working together in some capacity here for some reason. Can you see what the world is? It pulls you on, it tricks you that it's always a spring morning. And you even say, well, another man's hell could be your heaven. Then you say, if this is being blind and wrong, give me more and more. And you say, let me light up the hand and let me pull through the truth through. But if the truth don't make you happy, what will you do? The truth is, I'm happy when I'm with you. So he's admitting and opening up that he's happy when he's with this other person. And he says, but what if the truth that you're saying that you want is that, you're not really as happy with me as I am with you? What is the truth? It's a place where you can hide from the moldy old skeleton costume. And so you're flying like a moth at the streetlight, but it's too late. You're bumping wings with far too many others wearing your outfit. Interesting. That you chose from your endless supply of reflections and self-disgust. It's an interesting line there. Too many others wearing your outfit that you chose from the endless supply of reflections and self-disgust. Like you're reflecting others, so you're not yourself, you're being someone else, and you're trying to act like someone else or look like someone else. And there's also this notion of self-disgust, perhaps self-disgust with yourself, hence why you're trying to look like someone else. You don't have any belief in what's worth your love and trust, and you scatter your riches like a mirror ball that's covered in dust. You're not allowing yourself to shine. With the vain understanding that some of the light would stick, and invest your moth-like face with wisdom from another world. But instead, all that shows are wrinkles and a tick around your compound eyes, filled with a fond history of ecstasy and alibis. And then it repeats the lyrics from there. But I know all you want is to leave behind the color blue. I know that all you want is to move on from that sadness, from that depression, from that state. And I'm happy with you, and I will be here by your side. Whether you're feeling a little blue, or we're turning a new leaf and a new color there. I think that's a really reassuring and beautiful track for whoever this person that his words are aimed at and directed to. Let's move on to the next track here, which has kind of an interesting name. Christian Science Reading Room. Okay. Let's go.
Absolute measure of being.
I love that quivering synth back there.
Of his tail, he said he had a vision, 1,000 white flags flying over my head, and then he hid under the bed, and his eyes were big as bells, and suddenly he could not resist. Our world, the lyrics found it became something more beautiful as it unfurled.
There's a lot of good space that's left in this song. And the way that Mark sings, it's almost like a drone in the way that he sings. He just... And his voice kind of perfectly works in line with that quivering, kind of Alien-esque kind of synth line that's happening in the bed of this track pretty much throughout its whole runtime, which that was my favorite part of this. I still like how, yes, you have the guitar at the center of this particular model. You have the guitar that's the heart of this, and around that a few extra sounds. There's a little bit of a bell of sorts or something like that. But around that, I really like that key line. That wow, just kind of, and that quiver that's on it works with the same way that Mark is singing when he adds just a little bit of vibrato, because it both hits that vibration, and it's almost like you get a vibrational kind of harmony between them when they hit that specific note, while the guitar and some of these other little sounds are kind of sparkling to the sides of that, like stars, while they are the orbit of this track. And I really like the moments where the music holds. When the drums stop, pretty much everything stops except that sustained note, and then he sings a little bit over it, and then the music comes back. Like right here. It's like we're left in the ambient.
Absolute measure.
We're held in the space. Right there. And then we're right back into that gravitational pull. It kind of has the movement of like an older David Sylvian song. Doesn't sound like one, but it has the same kind of movement. I was so high I stood for an hour outside the Christian Science reading room. And suddenly I could not resist, and I became a Christian Scientist. Okay. You took a gummy and you found yourself diving into something. And I studied light and I studied sound, and every question that I asked was suddenly profound. The holy martyrs of gravity, the absolute measure of being free. I was so high that I even scared the cat. And using the language of his tail, he said he had a vision, 1,000 white flies flying over my hat. And then he hid under the bed, and his eyes were big as bells, and suddenly he could not resist, and he became a Christian Scientist, and together we explored our world and found it become more beautiful as it unfurled. Listen, he got a gummy or something, found himself diving into a particular subject where everything was profound and just blowing his mind. Him and the cat were on this journey. I suppose not a bad partner to have in that kind of journey with your cat. Why not? I like how the cat's tail was indicating signals and such. Let's move on to the next track, which is Sleep.
Now I love all the seven deadly sins. I like to watch them smile on the Celebrity Smile Show.
Which one's that? All of them?
You know that's the show where everybody wins. A fabulous tour of the hell they already know. And some people know how to trap the light, the way a bird in flight traps the sun. Some keep their lump of coal safely out of sight, thinking that one day it'll turn into a diamond.
This is very subtle.
Write a song that could dissolve you like sleep. A pedal steel guitar, simple and clean. If I had a song that could dissolve you like sleep, maybe you'd hear it out through your dream. Now altar boys look good in lace, but they're not known for their guts or their good nature. Goodness is not some pretty picture you paint. It's shaking your fist into the face of danger. If I had a song that could dissolve you like sleep, sleep is the only gift that they their tears are gonna sew the world together. Some saviors live in trouble deep, and I know we're nothing more than failure. If I had a song that could dissolve you like sleep,
How that lead to this chorus here.
maybe it would save you. If I had a song that could dissolve you like sleep.
I love the little ambience that happens after. It's like it's skipping and changing the signature there a little bit. It's a cool little change there. It's skipping. I think that outro is kind of one of the most interesting things about this track, if not the most interesting thing about this track. That switch up where that guitar line starts to repeat and then kind of go over itself. It sounds like it's like a record that's just stuck and repeating the same line. There's almost a little bit of an eerie factor to it, but in a kind of somber way. And this one has a very somber, slightly dreamy tone, definitely going along with the theme, the idea of sleep. And I like how one of the moments here in the lyrics, he says, if I had a song that could dissolve you like sleep, a pedal guitar, simple and clean. And when he said that, it made me think about certain things that he was doing within the track. How there were little moments, and I mean like snippets of ambience where the beat would drop out and it would just be, you know, some of that backwards guitar or such. And it would be like falling asleep. And no longer having, this is going to sound weird, but like when you're going to sleep, you're thinking about stuff usually. And eventually those thoughts begin to dissolve, go away, and then you fall asleep. So when he describes that the dissolving, musically, he does that. He starts to kind of have us nod off musically. And, you know, the drums will stop. There's a little ambience. And then it's like we snap back. And then the drums will stop. And there's a little ambience. And it comes back, usually before the chorus. And I think that was a really cool thing to do in this track. Because to me, it kind of sounds like someone falling asleep. It kind of recreates that feeling. And then eventually, we get into that dreaminess. Because the ending of this sounds a little bit uncanny. It sounds like the uncanniness of a dream and falling asleep. So I think it was really cool how he put those two things together, and I think the idea came across really well. If that was the intention, maybe I'm diving too deep into it. I don't think I am. But that switch up, which happens, it was right here. So you already start to have that backwards guitar that's being hinted at beforehand, and you can barely hear the fade and begin. Starting here, and it's kind of fading in and out of the ambience. And eventually that new melody begins to fade in right here. And it's completely off of a different beat from what came previously. It's almost like a DJ mix in a DJ mix of an album or such. So I thought that technique was really cool, and I really liked that switch up in that transition because it just made the theme all the more enjoyable as he was performing that. Now, what a great opening line. Now, I love all the 7 deadly sins. I like to watch them smile on the Celebrity Smile Show. You know, that's the show where everybody wins. A fabulous tour of the hell they already know. And some people know how to trap the light, like a bird in flight traps the sun. I think of a bird in flight trapping the sun in a sense like you see the silhouette of the bird as the sun's beyond him. Maybe. Some keep their lump of coal safely out of sight, thinking that one day it'll turn into a diamond. It's another great line. If there's one thing I can definitely say, Mark has some really fantastic lyrics. If I had a song that could dissolve you like sleep, a pedal steel guitar, simple and clean. If I had a song that could dissolve you like sleep, maybe you'd hear it all through your dream. Now, altar boys look good in lace, but they're not known for their guts or their good nature. Goodness is not some pretty picture you paint. It's shaking your fist into the face of danger. It's standing up for what you know is right, despite the danger. And then he repeats the chorus. There are some saviors weep, and they think their tears are going to sew the world together. Some saviors live in trouble deep and die knowing nothing more than failure. It's a good line. Your tears aren't going to save the world. Actions, shaking that fist in the face of danger. Then it repeats this chorus again. Interesting, the chorus. If I had a song that could dissolve you, maybe it would save you. Save you from what? From yourself or from others? And dissolve you. Not get rid of you, but perhaps change you. Perhaps reach your heart and change you. Because before in the song, he's talking about people and, they're hiding things. Maybe dissolving this person will reveal who they truly are, their bare elements. And perhaps they can grow and progress and recreate themselves from that in some sort of capacity. We all need a good sleep. Let's move on to the next track, To the Sea.
With your hand over your heart and your Boy Scout face, you win a new merit badge for a weakness for faith, for a love of strangers, for a love of danger that most people don't feel because they don't really feel. They're like tables and chairs, they're like forks and knives, they're like planes and trains. Here I'm bumping the night.
Hey.
The songs live all alone.
Strong down tempo.
They just wash up on a bank. The souls are beautiful, but finally start to stink. And their souls aren't talking, and there are no choirs singing. It's just the pull of the ocean. Not even freedom is ringing. It's just a river through Memphis. It's just a song by Led Zeppelin. You got a whole lot of love. They want the sound of heaven.
Nice big piano.
And it was all you could give them. Yeah, it was all you could give them. For people who wouldn't be caught dead, to be seen really living. Grace is always forgotten, oh, but never forgiven.
So far, I would say that's my favorite track on the album. And it's short too, which is unfortunate because I would have loved that to have gone on a little bit longer. So definitely now purely stepping into that down-tempo trip-hop inspired kind of groove and sound. And I love what he does with it with the bass and the drums, just a great rhythm section with a lot of great ambience around it. I think the cool thing is how Mark's voice is calm, cool, and collected. And yet with that calm, cool, and collected, those three C's, he's also carrying this really nice sense of urgency. The tempo of the song, it begets urgency. It's like there's something right around the corner, right around the bend, and you got to deliver this message before who knows what. And so I like how that feels like we're being chased. There's sort of an element of running in this one. But throughout, Mark never raises his voice. He never, sings out. It's very much sung down here. But he retains that stress in the way that he delivers. And I think that that's really cool, that kind of combination of being calm, cool, and collected, but at the same time, singing with a sense of movement and a sense of urgency, which is fantastic in here. And the constant crashes, especially later on with the drums, kind of urges everything on. And what I thought was kind of nice is that on the back end, underneath the music, if you listen to the acoustic guitar,
like some dirty old spy outside the garden of Eden. They say that there is a gift, but it can't mean breathing.
It has a very folky kind of sound to it, that melody. The way he's picking, ba 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 bang, bang 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 bang. But the music is definitely not. But it's interesting how he just integrates that, like a little bit of a vein of that into this track. And then the ending just ends. That's cool. Little strings coming in. It sounds like to me. But probably just keys.
Grace is always forgotten.
A lot of echo on that piano and a lot of treatment on that thing. Maybe it's because I have a little bit of an affinity towards that kind of sound, but this is to me the best track so far on the album. With your hand over your heart and your Boy Scout face, you win a new merit badge for a weakness for faith, for a love of strangers, for a love of danger that most people don't feel because they don't really feel. They're like tables and chairs, like forks and knives, planes and trains, hear them bump in the night. Their souls live all along, they just wash up on the bank. Their souls are beautiful, but finally start to sink, or stink rather, like fish washed up on the shore. Pretty in the sea, but eventually if you find them on the shore, and their souls aren't talking, and there are no choirs singing. It's just the pull of the ocean, not even freedom is ringing. It's just a river through Memphis. It's just a song by Led Zeppelin. You got a whole lot of love. They want the sound of heaven. Yes has heaven. And that was all you could give them. That was all you could give them. For people wouldn't be caught dead to be seen really living. It's an interesting line. People wouldn't be caught dead to be seen really living. To really be who they are. To really show their true colors. But maybe this would be looked down upon by others, by society, and so they wouldn't be caught doing that. Grace is always forgotten, but never forgiven. And I know all this because I'm just like them. I'm like some old dirty spy outside the Garden of Eden. And they say that fear is a gift. Well, it kept me breathing. You thought I was busy? Well, I was just busy running. Running from what? Running from your beauty. Some run from the devil and some their own history. Some run from their hopes and some run to the sea. Stupid. Don't you agree? Grace is always forgotten, but it's never forgiven. Why run? Better to engage with. Be yourself. Not run away from, but run towards. And I like how he's talking about other people, but he throws himself in there. He says, why do I do this? Why do we do this? Let's just forge our own paths, I think. Let's move on to the next track here, which is Shine. Hey. Some soul in here.
Now I want to win a costume prize, just so I can look you in your eyes.
And It's a cool track, man, the way it moves.
And you'll finally see me as really someone, and not just another heart that's always busy being broken. But I know the only costume prize I'll win.
It's very 90s, that kind of switch
As
up.
if I go as the invisible man. You could be a whispering ghost that floats like spilled milk. You could be a rubber frown that only knows how to bend. You could be one of the faces of the sirens who delight in pulling hope from the lips of those who can't afford to pretend. You play dress up, but you always wear the same clothes. I feel like a fool if I try and strike a pose, and I already have a brilliant disguise. I wanna shine a light in your eyes. I wanna shine a light in your eyes.
It's a bright chorus. Those keys are just watery magic.
You spend so much time trying to find a mask so ugly that no one would ever ask about your life story. The one that you put in a cardboard box under my bed before you decided you could be happy living as one of the living dead. The enemy takes many different forms, and some wanna thrill you with his charms, but I don't wanna wear a scary disguise. I wanna shine a light.
That little shaker, that little tambourine shines up too.
I wanna shine a light in your eyes. I wanna shine a light in your eyes. I wanna shine a light in your eyes.
Deep bass. I like how murky this is. Sounds like a little distorted guitar playing back there. So, in listening to this album so far, but especially the past two songs, it's really cool to hear him in this kind of context where he's creating this down-tempo music and inspired music, because Shine hits that same strong rhythm with a great R&B kind of feel to it. And I really like how the verse moves at a little bit of a darker, shadowy, still beautiful, but just more of a more urban, nocturnal kind of sound. And then when he moves into the chorus of Shine, the music appropriately brightens up. The chords become brighter. There's a little tambourine or something that kind of sounds a little bit like a like like it just adds this brightness and color into the music, which lifts it. And of course, the way that Mark sings as well, he brings it up and elevates everything along with him. So it's just really cool how, you know, the title is called Shine, and it starts off kind of in the shadows, but then we bring it into the light in that particular way. And I love the keys in this one. They're so smooth. The keys are going to be performed on this track and from several others that we've listened to as well. From Kristen Sobditch is her name. And I really like the coolness of her keys through these tracks. And it just feels like, it's like that kind of jazzy-esque ambience. Not necessarily here, but you hear that sound a lot in more newer jazz. And when I say newer, I mean like 80s forward. But I think that's just a cool, very loungy kind of sound. And it works incredibly well in this particular track in providing that ambience and that bed for the rest of the music to kind of jump off of. And once again, just like pretty much every other track, the guitar is always present in some manner. You know, Mark always includes it as kind of like the heart for the rest of the track and the rest of the instruments to pulse off of. And this one is no different. And I like how it's only one brief moment, but in the chorus, he pushes his voice just a little bit extra. Just a little something. He gives us a little something. And we get a title drop here. I want to win a costume prize just so I can look you in the eyes. And you'll finally see me as really someone. And not just as another heart that's always been busy or always busy being broken. But I know the only costume prize I'll win is if I go as the Invisible Man. There's your title drop right there. So he'll only win the prize because he's invisible to this person. You could be a whispering ghost that floats like spilled milk. You could be a rubber frown that only knows how to bend. You could be one of the faces of the sirens that delight in pulling hope from the lips of those who can't afford to pretend. You play dress up, but you always wear the same clothes. Like you're not who you are. I feel like a fool if I try to strike a pose. And I already have a brilliant disguise. I want to shine a light in your eyes. I want to blind you. Maybe if I blind you, you'll accept me for how I am and who I am, perhaps. Maybe then you'll notice me. You spent so much time trying to find a mask so ugly that no one would ever ask about your life story. The one that you put in a cardboard box under my bed. Before you decided you'd be happy living as one of the living dead. The enemy takes many different forms. Some want to thrill you with his charms, but I don't want to wear a scary disguise. I want to shine a light in your eyes. My first thoughts, like I said, I want to, in a sense, blind you, so maybe like you'll accept me for who I am without using your eyes, just other senses and such. But also, like, I want to get your attention in some capacity. I want to shine a light in your eyes. Maybe he will be that light. Well, this album kind of deals with being real, being true to yourself. I'm kind of finding as we dive through this. Steve, I always knew. Who's Steve? Let's find out.
You can boil the night down into a thin white line, ringing doorbells and waiting next.
It's that drum again, man.
Payphone, which means I guess that we're gonna sleep together. And like the morning, we disappear. The sunrise is a rainbow made out of gray blood veins. You said in my life I was too lucky. So tell me, am I supposed to feel guilty or something when you're just another glow in the dark skeleton talking? Steve, I always knew you wanted me,
Great instrumentation back.
but you know I had too much to lose. You said the only way through fear
It's a little
is to
sitar
give
rhythm.
in. And you were right, 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 you were right. Fear, it ain't much more than nothing. You put all your cash up the noses of the boys at the Leyland Hotel. You said if you don't live now, there's no chance for later. I guess in bed I was kind of a sweet nothing.
Anxiety.
For your money, you could have done much better.
I love that sitar.
You know I had too much to lose. You said the only way through fear is to give in. And you were right, 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 you were right. Fear ain't much more than nothing. You were right, 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 you were right. But then I got your eyes in 'em, you were nothing. Moved to New York to clean up and came back married to a cop. When I saw you on the street, I could tell you didn't wanna stop. You said those who haven't seen the death of love don't know what to believe in. And far too early, you saw life had no meaning. You were far too young to think that was the truth. You were far too young to live with the truth. Steve, I always knew you wanted me. Oh, but you know I had too much to lose. You said the only way through fear was to give in. You were right, 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 you were right. Fear ain't much more than nothing. You were right, 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 you were right. But then I got your eyes and in 'em, you were nothing. You were nothing. You were nothing.
I think that sitar sample that comes in the chorus is so fantastic. It's just a riff. It's just like a chord. It's just that, but it adds so much, especially when it's used with the impact of the drums. And the drums have a strong impact here. And at several moments, the drums hold a tension like a heartbeat, like waiting for an answer, like in this song, right? Like it works very well with the theme, and like what's gonna happen next. And I like how the drums really hold that pulse of life. That are they, aren't they? You know, what's going to happen? Or are we going, like, where is this going? So I like how this question lingers in here. And I would also say that at this point, this is Mark's most emotional performance. And he brings his emotion in a subtle and almost melancholic kind of way. And he definitely treads a certain line of uncertainty here, you know, which of course, like I said, works very well with the music, especially with the drums. And I really like how all that comes together in a very vulnerable package here, delivered from Eitzel. It feels authentic, it sounds genuine, and it comes through incredibly in the music. You can almost hear in the hushed tones of his voice a little bit of a cracking, as well as those emotions perhaps begin to choke him up a little bit in some respect. But I love the drums, that sitar sample, and the ambience that just swells and swirls around in this particular track. And it has some good story beats as well, as we follow Mark and Steve here. I think that's really fantastic. And of course, a strong down-tempo sound is always going to be great with me, you know, especially as we're going through this album. You can boil the night down into a thin white line, ringing doorbells and waiting next to a payphone, which means, I guess, that we're going to sleep together, and like the morning, we disappear. I don't know what, honestly, I didn't know what this part meant, but in the end, he's like, well, I guess we're going to sleep together, and then that'll be it. Just be one night together. The sunrise is a rainbow made out of gray blood veins. You said in my life I was too lucky. So tell me, am I supposed to feel guilty or something when you're just another glow-in-the-dark skeleton talking? Here's where the conflict comes together. Steve, I always knew you wanted me, but you know I had too much to lose. You said the only way through fear is to give in. And you were right, you were right. I like how he repeats this, and the way that Mark repeats this is so like true, like you were right, you were right. Fear ain't much more than nothing. If you give in to fear, you have nothing. You put all your cash up the noses of the boys at the Leland Hotel. You said if you don't live now, there's no chance for later. I guess in bed I was kind of a sweet nothing. For your money, you could have done much better. He's humble. Steve, I always knew you wanted me, but you said I had too much to lose. Repeats the lyrics from here. So that was their one time. But then later on, you moved to New York to clean up and came back married to a cop. When I saw you on the street, I could tell you didn't want to stop. This is that strong heartbeat moment. You said those who haven't seen the death of love don't know what to believe in. And far too early, you saw life had no meaning. You were far too young to think that was the truth. You were far too young to live with the truth. And then it repeats those lyrics there again. Now, I don't know. I'm making an assumption here just based off the lyrics. I'm assuming that Steve perhaps hadn't quite come out the closet yet. Perhaps he was in a hidden relationship with Mark. And so maybe that's what they're going for in the bridge. You were far too young to think that was the truth. Like, you didn't know. And, I mean, is the cop, is he, like, did he come out? Or is he still in the closet? At least that's what I'm kind of getting at. Like, he had a quick liaison, a quick relationship one night with Mark, and that was it. And even though he said, you know, the only way to get through fear is to give in, which they did for a night, did fear keep him in the closet further into life when he sees him again in New York? Like, this to me has a little bit of more of a biographical feeling to it. Maybe Steve isn't the actual name of the person being used, but it feels like it could be, right? You were right. But then I caught your eyes, and you know, you were nothing. You were nothing. Right? After they saw each other on the street, didn't want to stop, but I caught your eyes, and you know you were nothing. That's a harsh... Ooh. That's a good ending. That's a good ending to that track. Let's move on to the next one, which appropriately is called Bitterness, because there was some bitterness there at the end. Something ominous comes this way.
Through the lives of the saints, and you said I would have a bigger beggar's bull, but now all you read is a list of complaints. Bitterness poisons the soul. You were a student of archaeology. You take comfort in cities that fall. When you smashed your place up, you thought you were making history. Bitterness poisons the soul. You took your name apart and you put it back as someone you never really wanted to know. Now you're just as helpless as those you attack. Bitterness poisons the soul. I don't know if I will ever love again. I don't
It's a weird sound.
if I will ever love again. You like to wear expensive designer shades. You're so cool, you turn spring into fall. But you find as the world darkens, it's you that fades.
It's a good line.
Bitterness poisons the soul. So you dig through your closets for old dreams you used to wear, like an actor who forgot his role, like a coward jonesing for the next big scare. poisons the soul.
So a lot of interesting sounds here. Musically, I think that Bitterness is so far like the most weird song with some of the sounds that are happening and all these weird sounds, and then the bang 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 bang, the melody of it and the way he sings, there's something slightly off about the track. And then I was thinking about the actual song title, Bitterness, right? And the feeling of bitterness. When there's a feeling of bitterness, there's feelings of resentment, there's harbored ill wills and, perhaps pain and hurt and emotional damage like to you, right? And so you have these feelings of bitterness. And I think the music itself kind of is capturing that feeling. The music itself sounds bitter. It sounds a little bit in between hate and self-indulgence and self-feeling and like, not vengeance, that's too strong of a word, but animosity. It sounds like it's holding animosity. And you know what? Let's actually look up the exact definition of bitterness. A chronic, toxic emotional state characterized by deep-seated resentment, anger, hostility stemming from perceived injustices, betrayals, or unmet expectations. And I feel like you actually get that in this track. It's not outright aggressive and hate. It's something a little bit more restrained, something harbored within. And it just builds and festers and grows and contaminates. And I think the music actually kind of grabs that. It doesn't sound completely, like I said, abstract, experimental, hateful, aggressive, strong-armed. No, it just sounds a little off. Especially with these little sounds. Expensive designer shades. And the chord progressions are a little bit like awkward in a way. Like, there's something about it. And I think that it grabs that theme really interestingly. It's definitely the hardest list and my least favorite song so far, but it's my least favorite song in the sense of like listening to it, but conceptually, I think it's hitting it quite well on the head. Now you read through the lives of the saints and you said I would have a bigger beggar's bowl, alliteration, but now all you read is a list of complaints. Bitterness poisons the soul. You're a student of archaeology. You take comfort in cities that fall. I love that. Bitterness, something that's, harbored inside. You're a student of archaeology holding on to old things. When you smashed your place up, thought you were making history, bitterness poisons the soul. You took your name apart and you put it back as someone you never really wanted to know. Now you're just as helpless as those you attack. Bitterness poisons the soul. I don't know if I will ever love again. You like to wear expensive designer shades. You're so cool you turn spring to fall. But you find as the world darkens, it's you that fades. Bitterness poisons the soul. So you dig through your closets for old truths that used to wear, like an actor who forgot his role. like a coward jonesing for the next big scare. I like that a lot. You're putting on airs. Once again, kind of like what I said before with the album, a lot of the songs deal with like deceiving yourself and trying to be something you're not when he's admonishing just to be who you are. I don't know if I'll ever love again. And then he brings it back to his response emotionally to this person. I love this line though. As you find the world darkens, it's you that fades. You know why? You know what I think? If the world, I can't do it on here. If the world darkens, but you're the one that fades, I view it as you were already dark. And so you're basically just becoming hidden and camouflaged and invisible as the world matches you. But you're the one that was fading. You were on the wrong the whole time. You were the dark one. So like I think that's kind of an interesting image that he kind of puts together with that, because he becomes the invisible man. Kind of.
When did you decide that the chill would never leave your bones? That none of the coats you wear would ever keep you warm? Liquor and pills, see your pain far away in the mirror. Why do you only see yourself when you're looking back through the eyes of a stranger? Your mother always worried you'd be a sad old maid, alone and sour as a glass of lemonade. But you're not alone, you should know that by now. I'd give anything to be where you are. I'd give anything to be where you are right now. Have you lost so much that none of your tiny wishes can find a toehold? Have you been recast as some odd character that has no story to unfold? My mother always worried I'd be a sad old maid, alone and sour as a glass of lemonade. And if it weren't for you, my heart would have had no home. I'd give anything to be where you are. I'd give anything to be where you are. I'd give anything to be where you are. I'd give anything to be where you are right now, right now.
I love the warmth of that bass and the drum. this track is that it's that feeling of lightness, and I know this is going to sound weird. It feels like to me being up in the clouds. There's a floaty kind of aspect to it. There's a daydream through the skies kind of movement to it all. The drums, while the kick is strong, the rest of it that comes off of that, it's echoed with reverb, and the snare and stuff, it's kind of very atmospheric. And the way he sings is incredibly gentle, incredibly calm, and slightly reassuring as well, as he kind of co-pilots with us through the skies. In here, the guitar plays in a very dreamy ambience. It's a very empty track in the sense that there's not a lot filling the space, but the space is left purposely so that we can fly, float, and flit through the skies in just gorgeous beauty, just kind of gliding actually through the skies, because it's calm, it's relaxing. There's part of me that wishes that there was more to this track, but it's like a nice, open, kind of dreamy, feel-good track. But it's not one of my favorites. But I can't fault it. It's just, I desire more out of it. But I can't fault it. It's where sometimes I come at odds with myself, you know? It's not a track I would personally choose to listen to again, but I think that it's still a good track. Hopefully that makes sense. When did you decide that the chill would never leave your bones? I like that. When was it your decision to do that? That none of the coats you wear would ever keep you warm. Liquor and pills see your pain far away in the mirror. Why do you only see yourself when you're looking back through the eyes of a stranger? You're not really seeing yourself. Well, that's a good line. Your mother always worried you'd be a sad old maid, alone and sour as a glass of lemonade. But you're not alone. You should know that by now. I'd give anything to be where you are right now. Have you lost so much that none of your tiny wishes can find a toehold? Not even a foothold, just a toehold. Just a little something. Have you been recast as some odd character that has no story to unfold? And then the chorus repeats from there. I'd give anything to be with you. I'd give anything right now. So I like how Mark is reassuring this person. Like, you may have lost yourself or feel like you've lost yourself. You may feel like you have nowhere to go, but I would give anything to be where you are and with you. You have the future ahead of you. You have a lot of opportunities ahead of you. And I would give anything to be in your position, in your shoes, so to speak. And I really like the way that he reassures this other person with those lyrics. Yeah, like I said, nice song. I think it's because it goes on a little long for what I'm getting out of it and what I'm feeling from it. Without you. Almost sounds like it could be Mellotron, but I don't think so.
I owe more than I could ever pay. I know much less than I say. I throw all my chances away. Without you, I sink more than I fly. I drink more than I cry. I blink far away in the sky. Without you, I winter in the bloodshot eyes of the unjust. I summer where the light catches the dust. I lose myself in disbelief and distrust. Without you, without you, without you.
with that little glass.
Without you, my sentence is smoking in a maze of smoke glass mirror. My sentence is laughing in the faces of my accuser. My sentence is the freedom of no passport and no papers. My sentence is a heart for sale and no takers. My sentence is a cup of vinegar served by friendly strangers. My sentence is the quicksand instead of the hidden danger. Without you, without you, without you.
Doesn't it kind of sound like Mellotron? The bass is leading this song so heavily in the beginning. And then it moves into this section which begins to, like, to me, sound like Tom Waits a little bit, with that kind of downtown back streets jazziness, which is kind of interesting. But the bass is 100% leading this thing. That's going to be Pete Strauss playing bass on this particular track. Trumpet and keyboards, Mark Capel. A lot of other instruments here: bass, clarinet, Beth Custer, and trombone by Carol Ashby. And they all make a really cool and kind of dusty horn section as they blow the, you hear their soft blowings and their little hushes in the night. But it sounds like they're playing from dusty trombones and stuff like that. Like there's a little bit of a rustic atmosphere to it and the way that they play, which I think is really cool in how it kind of accents and plays off of the strength of the bass. And then especially the way that Mark sings in here, he kind of brings it up a little bit more into a swing, but not so much of a swing like a party or a celebration, but more like a swing of drunken, not stupor, but like there's a little bit of something not sober about the way that he swings in this track. But I really like that because he sways and maneuvers around it all in a really brilliant way. The middle the horn stabs, there's a little bit of a play up in this particular scene, like I said, because that's where I really felt that Tom Waits kind of style. Not necessarily the way that Mark is singing, but in his approach and within the jazzy scene that's taking place around him. There's almost a little bit of a musical aspect to this as well. This feels like a very cool and complete track, and I love the composition of it, how that break that we just, like this part right here, that middle section, is so elevated and self-contained, and then it brings it back down to that first third where it was before. This is a really, really fantastic one. I love Pete Strauss's bass and how strong it is. I mean, listen to the beginning of this, like, not the beginning, so that sounds like Mellotron to me, but like this.
In the bloodshot eyes of the unjust.
That is forward in the music. That is deep in there. Let me pull up the lyrics here for you. I owe more than I ever could pay. I know much less than I say, or can say. I throw all my chances away without you. I sink more than I fly. I drink more than I cry. I blink far away in the sky without you. I winter in the bloodshot eyes of the unjust. I like that. I summer where the light catches the dust. I lose myself in disbelief and distrust without you. My sentences smoking in a maze of smoked glass mirrors. My sentences laughing in the faces of my accusers. Like, what am I guilty of? My sentence is the freedom of no passport and no papers. My sentence is a heart for sale and no takers. Ooh, that's a hard line. My sentence is a cup of vinegar served by friendly strangers. That's not something you want to drink. They're not really your friends, are they? They're just friendly strangers. My sentence is the quicksand instead of the hidden danger. All this is my fate if I don't have you. But that one, a heart for sale with no takers, you put your heart up for auction and no one's bidding, you feel that. You feel that. The Global Sweep of Human History, another interesting title track. Harsh sound that keeps washing in. I like how the track is called The Global Sweep of Human History, and there is this twice, especially, there's this sweep, there's this washing ashore of this kind of harsh and yet kind of serene ambient sound that comes up into the forefront and kind of takes over the music, and then it washes back out before the final time where it does that. And it's like this strong ebb and flow, but it only happens a couple times in the track. Otherwise, this is honestly a very okay song. I didn't find anything particularly interesting or attractive or, getting my attention about the singing guitar here. And while I did like that ambience that sweeps on in and takes over, it's not quite enough to catch my interest. This is just like, okay, it's a nice little song, but honestly, I don't see much more than that. This one didn't catch me. If they dismiss me with a smile, and I think that I must live without the sun, if they dismiss me with a smile, I'll break all their teeth and all their fun. If they dismiss me with a frown, I'll make sure they never forget their pain. If they dismiss me with a frown, I'll crawl like a virus through their brain. So either way, he ain't going down without a fight. And if you don't care, I don't care. I guess you think the war's already won. Don't wait for no veterans parade, because for you, it's never going to come. Talk about the bitterness that we sang in the previous track. If they dismiss me with a glance, I'll shine some pennies in their eyes. If they send them to Sharon, the boatman, pay your fare. If they dismiss me with a glance, I'll really give them something to despise. And he repeats it from there. It's never going to come. The global sweep of human history. So is he basically saying all this is kind of like human history just boiled down into something a little bit more succinct? I could see it. But yeah, still musically, meh. Seeing Eye Dog is the next track here.
When the light's red, then I'll keep you safe. I know the traffic don't stop for the blind anymore. Those burning souls with the knuckles all bruised, I'll bite in their time until it's all used. I'm your seen-eye dog, your seen-eye dog. I'm your seen-eye dog, your seen-eye dog. And when evil comes with its bleeding heart, it's discount coupon, it's Bible and it's gun, it's Jolly Roger map for the way out. I'll drag you from the ditch, I'll pull you from your dell. I'm your seen-eye dog, your seen-eye dog, your seen-eye dog, your seen-eye dog. And I'll never leave you as long as you're still trying to see. Don't bite the hand that feeds you if you can't be true to
I suppose kind of like a dog, like the track has a certain kind of golden retriever energy to it, especially once the drums come in. You sing I dog, like ba ba ticka ba 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 da da dog. I can see the kind of doggish canine charm in here. It has a friendly feel to it. Probably one of the most positive sounding upbeat tracks on the album as well. But kind of like the previous track, if I'm being 100% honest, it doesn't really do anything for me. It just kind of comes and goes. It's a short song on the album, probably the shortest, if not one of them. And I don't think it has much of a staying effect. Like, I think it kind of sounds a little cheesy. Which makes me think like, okay, golden retriever kind of energy, just happy to be here, no matter what the case. But yeah, I
From the ditch, I'll pull you from your dell.
I think it's the drum sound also. I wish it was a little deeper, but it's a little brighter than I prefer. It's a little lighter than I like.
You'll never be alone. I'll bide in the time until it's all.
I don't know. That one doesn't do anything for me either. I just don't like it. Yeah. Don't want to sit on it too long. I don't like to drag it through the mud, but yeah, it's fine. It's whatever. When the lights are red, then I'll keep you safe. I know the traffic don't stop for the blind anymore. Those burning souls with their knuckles all bruised, all biding their time until it's all used. I'm your seeing eye dog. I'm your seeing eye dog. I'll guide you through. Don't worry, as times change, I won't change. I'll be here for you. And when evil comes with its bleeding heart, its discount coupon, its Bible, and its gun, its Jolly Roger map for the way out, I'll drag you from the ditch, I'll pull you from your doubt. I got you. Listen. I got you no matter what. And I'll never leave you as long as you're still trying to see. As long as you're trying to see, you're trying to put some effort for it, I'll be there right with you. Don't bite the hand that feeds you. If you can't be true to yourself, well, you better be true to me. And if the light is green, then we're free to go across the dangerous street, across the beautiful world. If the light is green, then we're on our way. You'll never be alone. You'll never be astray. A good, loyal friend, just like a seeing eye dog, to guide you through wherever you need to be guided. Even when you can't see the way out, he'll be there to help you see your way through the ways of the world. Let's move on to the final track here on the album, which is Proclaim Your Joy.
Some build coffins, some drink coffee, some sing and dance. Some come on caterpillars and some propellers, some throw a lance. Some hide their faces, have deep feelings, always make big decisions. Some take painkillers, turn into vampire, watch television.
Hey.
It is important throughout your life to proclaim your joy. Yeah, it is important throughout your life to proclaim your joy. Some keep bunnies and some pump tummies and some court disaster. Some wanna be a slave and some wanna be your master. And some are big wheels, some are big whiners, some are talented. And some got the borders, some scan the skies, some bake the bread. It is important throughout your life to proclaim your joy. Yeah, it is important throughout your life to proclaim your joy. Some throw spanners and some make banners and some are frozen. Some are entertainers, some lift operators and some are chosen. Some wield mallets, some wield rivets, some are sloppy. Some give you heaven, some eternal damnation, some make you happy. It is important throughout your life to proclaim your joy. Yeah, it is important throughout your life to proclaim your joy.
Folky hoedown.
Some hold the discus, some hide in discos. Some are too hot to be cool. Some are born in a blast, some live in a cast. Some never leave high school. Some are uncaring, live their life staring down through telescopes. some trained monkeys, some blame flunkies, some only eat soap. It is important throughout your life to proclaim your joy. Yeah, it is important throughout your life to proclaim your joy. Some slam battles, some save labels, some hate and murder. Some live in a coal mine, some packed in brine, some in a blender. Some are good at selling, some are good at spelling the word never. Some are ruled by money, some are wrapped like a mummy, some live forever. It is important throughout your life to proclaim your joy. Yeah, it is important throughout your life to proclaim your joy. It is important throughout your life to proclaim your joy. It is important throughout your life to proclaim your joy.
And there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. The Invisible Man by Mark Eitzel, ending with a complete diversion at the last minute, a last minute swerve here. Proclaim Your Joy is Mark proclaiming his joy, and the song sounds like a proclamation. It sounds like a joyous out yelling, and it kind of moves pretty much strictly back into that more folk kind of sound here. We have a little bit of that kind of electronic influence here in the middle with some of the reversed kicks there. But really, otherwise, this is kind of straightforward. You have a little bit of bass in there as well. And the sound here, especially in the second half, when Mark kind of brings it down a little bit before the final chorus, it reminds me of Gorillaz, actually, quite a bit. Like, this section here,
some live forever.
This sounds like Gorillaz.
Some are good at selling, some are good at spelling the word never.
Kind of hitting a Damon Albarn kind of sound there for a second. But I think that's cool. I think it's cool that at this last second, at the last song, we kind of just, you know what, throw caution to the wind. Let's do what we want. And what we want to do is a little bit of a folk rocking out right now. I think it works really well. I like the chorus, and the chorus has this moment where it kind of like cuts off a little, or not the chorus, the pre-chorus, kind of cuts off a little preemptively. And actually the chorus does as well, which it's kind of interesting. Kind of throws you off. Just so overjoyed, you just forget yourself. Forget what you were doing. Some build coffins, some drink coffee, some sing and dance, and some come in caterpillars. And some propellers, some throw a lance, some hide their faces, have deep feelings. Always make big decisions, some take painkillers, turn into vampiro, watch television. It is important throughout your life to proclaim your joy. No matter what you're doing, I guess. No matter which position you find yourself in, what you're doing, find a moment to proclaim some joy. Some keep bummies, some pump tummies, some court disasters, some want to be a slave, some want to be your master. And some are big wheels, some are big whiners, some are talented, and some guard the borders. Some scan the skies, some bake the bread. Some throw spanners, some make banners, and some are frozen, some are entertainers. Some lift operators, and some are chosen. Some wield mallets, some weld rivets. Some are sloppy, some give you heaven, some eternal damnation, some make you happy. Listen, no matter what you do and how you are and where you find yourself, it is important to find your joy in your state in life as much as you can and proclaim a little bit of that particular joy. Let's look at some of the info for this album. Obviously, it says it's more electronic by Eitzel, who was more known for his stark acoustic arrangements. Eitzel wrote all of the songs on an acoustic guitar, but finished most of them with a sampler and Pro Tools on his Power Mac G4 in the front room of his house. Favorite tracks from me, in case you couldn't tell? It's going to be right there, brother. To the Sea and Shine, I think, are very easily the best and my favorite tracks personally on the album. I think that it's really cool that Mark went into this direction for the album and incorporated so many more electronic elements, and especially that down-tempo feel, because I feel like overall it was a success with what he did, and I think it's really cool that he moved into something like this. Is it my favorite album that I've heard recently? No. Is it something that sticks with me on a personal level? Not so much. Not personally so much. But I think it's a really cool listen, especially with those two tracks as a standout. And I would say after that, Boy with the Hammer would be my next standout track, personally, if you were to press me. Let me know what you all thought of it in the comments down below. Andreas, thank you so much once again for the over-the-top support. I really, really appreciate that. Thank you for the request. I hope that you guys enjoyed something out of this. Thank you for being here. And please come back again tomorrow. Bye, guys.